Hello and welcome to Last Token Venture TV, Venture Capital TV. My name is Sunny Mohanty. I'm Regional Director of Last Token based in Singapore. I'm coming back on VCTV after a while. I'm super excited as well. It's a Friday and happy Friday and happy Halloween for those who celebrate Halloween. So, like every other session on VCTV, we bring innovation, technology, and solutions on VCTV. So during all our Crypto Friday sessions, just like today, you get to hear directly from the CEOs, relevant co-founders, leaders speaking about upcoming projects. So today, I'm very glad to present a great project called Band Royalty. And it's going to be represented by the co-founder of Band Royalty, Noble A. Drackel. Okay, so before we move on to the interview, as a reminder, you can see our previous shows and content by visiting our website. So also you follow us on our socials like Facebook and Twitter. If you're watching on YouTube, just hit subscribe button so you're always informed of the great content, opportunities, and even giveaways. And a very, very crucial reminder. Remember, anything mentioned here is not any type of financial advice. Do your research before making any decision. Also note, your choices are only your responsibility. Okay, so having said that, let's just get our guest speaker online.
Happy Halloween for those who celebrate it. I know we do here in America. So.
Oh, I love Halloween. I miss Halloween. Honestly, I love that trick and tricking and going around places and scaring people. No, not really.
And getting candy for no reason, just because you just exist.
Yeah. Great, Noble. Good to see you after a long time. How you been?
Good. I've been super busy with Band Royalty. It's I was on VCTV a lot during the pandemic, and we were doing a lot of stuff. But now with what's going on with Band Royalty, is just completely exciting, and it's a full blown labor of love with with the goal and the intent to try and change an entire industry, the music industry. Multi-billion-dollar industry, and so it's been a lot of work to talk to people, to share people the vision and the idea, and to spread the message of what our ultimate goal is, which is to make the first ever fan music industry professional or artist collaborative record label, and that's a lot. That's a tall task.
Okay, talking about music, talking about artists. Obviously, we all know music industry. We all know artists, singers, performers. Then we have fans, just like me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just first of all, I would like to know why music on NFT. But before that, that's something that for the audience as well. What's the use case of music on NFT? But before that, Band Royalty. I love the name.
Mm-hmm.
Where the name came from. How did you? Were you always into crypto? Were you always fascinated with crypto? How did you bump into crypto and then NFT? What was your previous life was like, and why did you move into the space? And how did you meet Barnaby? Let's just that.
Yeah. So we'll start with we'll unpack this one bit at a time. So Band Royalty is taking my initials and my partner's initials, and it just hit us that it would be great for this project. And so Barnaby Anderson and Noble Dracone make the word band, and so we said that this is a fortuitous coincidence that means This project needs to kind of go forward. Now, for me, if anyone can Google me. It's pretty easy. I've been writing books and a main lecturer and trader for futures, options, and forex for almost 20 years. I got my license when I was 17. I got in the industry when I was 17. Got my license when I was 19, and was one of the top educators and traders for futures and options. I was an editor of Futures Magazine. Been on Fox Business News, Bloomberg, Market Watch. Discussing how to trade and what trading looks like. And so for me, this is the crypto markets were actually just a natural extension of a long career in trading, there's really not much difference. When people are willing to buy and sell and there's an opportunity to make money, it's the same whether it's stocks, bonds, options, whatever. What makes this whole entire industry unique at all is the fact that there is a component that really ties home or hits home for me. I learned how to program when I was in fourth grade, and I don't know if anybody remembers the movie Hackers back in the 90s, but that was like the movie that was very inspiring for me and friends
Wow.
who really wanted to learn about this idea that information should be for everybody, that the internet and computers are supposed to encompass and make everybody's lives easier, and that it should never be concentrated and controlled in one person's hands. And so when you look at crypto and you look at blockchain, you look at DLT, distributed ledger technology, it tries to fulfill that same promise that as hackers, everyone was trying to learn and trying to figure out, where everybody is on equal footing and everyone has equal access and everyone has the ability to have a voice in what they're doing. That's why DAO projects are super successful. That's why opportunities such as Board API clubs and CryptoPunks are really exciting, because everyone feels like anyone can get in. There's not a old boys network or an old boys club that keeps you locked out from opportunity. And so it's a natural extension from me being in the investment industry for as long as I have, me being a big believer in growing up literally digital when we were working on 1200 baud modems till now, that it was only a natural extension that we would be, and I would be involved in crypto at some point. My first exposure to crypto was an article in Wired magazine when I first discovered Bitcoin and learned about it. And back then, there was no centralized exchanges. I don't know if the only way to do it was peer to peer. So you had to go buy your Bitcoin peer to peer, and you didn't know if you're getting a Bitcoin and if the people were real. And so the first purchase I ever did was a peer to peer purchase of 10 Bitcoin when Bitcoin was like $360 or something like that.
God.
Yeah, I bought 10 Bitcoin at the time, and in being a traditional investment trader and advisor.
Did you still hold them?
Oh no, of course not. When it went to $1,800 back then, I was like, $1,800. How is Bitcoin going to ever be worth more than gold? I mean, like, this is a digital currency. At the time, it didn't really sink in. I knew something was happening, but it didn't really sink in what was happening. And so I made money. I made a profit. And who knew that the profit would continue? But that's how life is. You never know where things are going to end up. And but I've been but after my first full-time foray back into crypto was when a buddy called me up and said, Bitcoin's at $20,000. This is a couple of Christmases ago, and I'm like, $20,000 Bitcoin? And then it collapsed again back then to 9,000. And but that's when I got involved in Bitcoin mining and started getting back into crypto and started buying Ethereum. I bought a bunch of Ethereum at 400 and $500 and the like. And I started getting back involved in crypto. They really understood what the promise was, and the idea that this was for everybody, and this is an opportunity for everyone to, whether you are in the middle of Thailand or living in Bolivia or in Africa, it was an equal footing opportunity. And so. And so the band royalty project grew out of that. I'd been investing in music royalties for some time, and I figured
that why music, and why weren't you there in the ICO days? Like, like I've been in this industry since the ICO days. What made you to think that ICOs are not something something that you're not you associate yourself with? You waited till NFTs. Obviously, NFTs have been there for a long time that we know of, but obviously it's getting more sort of mainstream. Now, especially last year, we've seen. So, what made you to wait that long? I mean, you've been trading futures, options. You bought Bitcoin, Ethereum. again, you've been in the music industry. So how does transition happen? Like, what problems do you see in the music industry? And so that you thought, now this is the right use case for me to flip uh,
Hmm.
into NFTs.
Yeah. So for me, I got involved with NFTs back at CryptoKitties kicked off. So
Right.
that's 2017, and I realized that that was kind of the way that things were moving forward in the crypto space from the beginning. Now I didn't know all the crypto NFT projects, and even then it was very difficult because I was really focused on the programming and development side at
Right.
the time. And so, but I realized that for regular people, for people who didn't, understand distributed ledger technology and who didn't understand fully um, the idea of, some of these protocols, because you get really complex on the minutia of how the tokens are being used and what the utility is, that NFTs made sense. And what really hit that home for me was back in May of 2020. And at that time, I read a little article, or excuse me, it was June of
Yeah.
2020. I read a little article about William Shatner and how William Shatner had made a series of NFTs on the Wax protocol and sold out over $100,000 in NFTs in 9 minutes. And that's when I realized that regular people understood and got the idea of NFTs. Now, William Shatner, is an icon and is interesting, but these were literally pictures of, him hugging Leonard Nimoy. These weren't even Star Trek pictures. These are pictures from day-to-day life,
Right.
and they sold out $100,000. And that's when I realized that NFTs were a big deal, that this was going to be the way uh, the masses started interacting with blockchain and crypto, because it was very simple for them to understand. It's a collectible, and
Yeah.
everybody's been involved in collectibles their whole lives, whether you collected stamps or coins or comic books. I've got tons of comic books all over my house. Even to this day, I buy comic books, I buy comic book art. That collectibles is something that hits the psychological gestalt of everybody. So for me, when I looked to get involved in crypto, I didn't really understand ICOs. To me, they look like another security, so I didn't really understand how that floated. I didn't really understand how to ramp on to a project that would come out, and I
Yeah.
couldn't find a real easy use case of how do we combine music with uh, the blockchain world until I looked at NFTs. NBA Top Shots came out, and NBA Top Shots were basically video of popular basketball players that people were trading back and forth, basically living
Yeah.
collectible cards. So I looked at the music industry and I said we could do the same thing. We buy, except we could create utility. I've been buying music royalties. You could buy one of our NFTs, and the NFT would give you access to share in a reflection of those royalties. You'd receive governance tokens. You'd receive potential to use a social token. But the reality is, the whole project would be able to be backed by us acquiring and bringing on music royalties and bringing on musicians who'd want to be on our exchange platform. So the project evolved from a simple idea of, hey, you own an NFT that gives
Right.
you something that's tradable, that's
Hmm.
exclusive, because there's only 3,000 NFTs. That, people still miss that part of our project. There's
Yeah.
only 3,000 NFTs, and
Yeah.
so you get an
Uh,
NFT, and now you're into our ecosystem.
so before we move to the details, Noble, I just want to know what what problems music industries are facing. Like, especially what I gather that the artists, obviously they had obviously a lot of issues with income during the lockdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we had
And
to yeah.
yeah, the sad part is not just the lockdown. So, um, the music industry has been very, very uh, aggressive towards not to not only just the performers but people along the entire creative process in music,
Hmm.
and has been highly exploitive since its inception. There's really no other way to really put it. You're paying artists 10 to 12 cents on every dollar that they earn, but then you're doing what's called recoupables. You're charging them for all the money you spend to make them popular. So the labels never lose on an artist per se, because the artist is always in debt to the
Right.
label or the people put up money. The problem that we saw is that for every one song that me and you are listening to, and we love these songs,
Yeah.
there could be at a minimum 10 different people that are owed royalties on that song. So
Right.
for us, we may like this a singer, but that might be just one person. That's just a performer. You
Yeah.
have producers who receive producer and royalty back end. Maybe multiple producers, two, three producers on a song. You have writers who write the songs, and
Yeah.
sometimes they're collaborating with the performer, and sometimes they're just creating the song. So there can be two, three different writers. You have engineers, you have managers, and so when we look at a song or we hear a song on the radio, the production that value that goes into making that one song is a lot, and that's why it's so special when an artist is able or performer is able to perform 12 songs or 20 songs on an album, because every song is a production in and of itself. It's like making its own mini movie, and all these people along the process
Yeah.
are waiting for back end money. They're waiting for royalties. Now, the great thing that has happened is that streaming has become super successful. Up until then, CD sales had gone. We'd looked at, music pirating was the whole entire concern. People were losing royalties, not only the artists but the uh, record labels.
Yeah.
Artists were being put into these 360 deals where they had to share a percentage of all the money they made back to the label, so that the label could recoup their investment in them. So that meant that if an art, and before this had never happened, but before an artist could keep all their merchandise and all their income that they derive from performances, all of a sudden this started cutting down into their income. And so they had to share that with the label if they got advances. And so everyone was trying to figure out a way to keep the music industry going. And then streaming comes along, and
Yeah.
everyone can listen to music everywhere. And it was a big renaissance for the industry. But at the same time, of the $14 billion that was brought in the music industry through streaming, is concentrated in the hands of a few major music labels.
Yeah.
And 10%, like 10 to 12% of all the money made in streaming is given to the actual performers, artists, writers, those 10 people that make up that song. So really, how is that equitable? If 10%, if these guys make the song, create the song,
Yeah.
get the song out, there's no more CDs, there's no more breakage, there's no more physical distribution. But in a digital distribution world, the performers, the writers, the producers, all the music industry professionals that make up that song still are only getting 11 to 12%. How does that even function in a world where everything is digitally distributed and your fans are actually talking to you directly on Twitter, Instagram? So
Yeah.
how is this an equitable and functional activity? And so uh, the problem, like any project, the problem solution set becomes simple. And a lot of people are trying to figure out it in different ways, and I applaud everybody. But because I had my music label in 1999, I've had a press and distribution deal. I understand the music industry fairly well, and there's still parts that I'm still learning always. I Because I've had experience in it, I've come at it with a whole different angle. Some people are so fixated on the performers and the performers putting out their albums and selling their albums on blockchain as NFTs, but that's just a fraction of the stakeholders in the music industry. What about the producers who make tracks? What
Right.
about the songwriters who are selling their songs? What about the songwriters who are owed royalties? We've just come up with a whole entire different take of trying to put the music industry in the blockchain, and we're doing it bit by bit. We start with the NFTs, educating fans
Yeah.
about royalty streams and teaching
Right.
them that there's mechanical royalties, that there's sync royalties, there's publishing royalties, there's performance royalties, there's writers royalties. So we started educating people on that, and that's how we introduced the NFTs and created pools that let people tap into it. Now we have an NFT exchange that's coming in, and it's going to be a music industry exchange where every stakeholder, songwriters, performers, publishers, can find other sources of income on their royalty streams and on their capabilities that go beyond just being doing performances or selling merchandise, actually sharing with their fans their success, and then by sharing with their fans their success, making those fans even more loyal to participate in their future success. So there's a lot of interesting paradigms that we're looking to bring into the band royalty ecosystem.
Absolutely, I understand that concept. You're cutting the middle person, like the who obviously the before UNFT is the 10% of to 11% of the income was going to the artist. Obviously, fans didn't get anything. I was the middle person who was getting most of the revenues, right? So how
Yes.
is that different now that you put that royalties into NFT? So
Mm-hmm.
I know that you started with your NFT sales. So
Mm-hmm.
NFT is like on your website. So how is that different you
Mm-hmm.
from the traditional sale of royalties?
So for us, we're taking a couple fold approach. The NFT sales on our websites reflect access to governance tokens in our project.
Right.
And so we're going out and acquiring music royalties to support the ecosystem that we're developing. And
Hmm.
so when you buy the NFTs, we go out, we buy music royalties, we create governance tokens, and the governance tokens allow fans and even creators to vote on the direction of this new type of record label we're developing. The way the NFTs were designed initially was to start showing people that the governance tokens and the social tokens were there and were accessible to them by allowing them to participate in the industry on the back end side. Basically, as a music mogul,
Hmm.
we're showing people what the behind the curtain looks like. But as we started talking to the artists and the performers, they said, well, we want to participate and we want to actually be able to give people access to our new royalties, give people the access to our new songs. And if we're an up and coming artist, be able to directly sell albums and music. And then some of the producers we talked to said, look, I make 100 tracks. I'd love to put that as an NFT and share that on a platform that allow people to buy our tracks or buy my tracks, and then I could still make money in perpetuity because I'm generating a 10% or 12% if someone resells it.
Right.
So we started looking at the whole industry and said we were looking to solve a problem where we were teaching fans how to participate and learn about the music industry on the royalty side. But this ecosystem could be expanded in such a way that every musician,
Hmm.
every music professional could now share their royalties, get advances against their royalties. And instead of going to a record label, their fans could be the ones who are buying into their royalties or giving advances on their royalties or participating in a new song or maybe crowdfunding using NFTs, the next album that they do coming onto our platform. And so bandnfts.com, the
Yeah.
exchange side,
Yeah.
also evolved. And that's where the social token comes in. So
Right.
being on our Band NFTs exchange, you use
Yeah.
the royalty token, not the governance token, but you use
Yeah.
the royalty token to list, sell items, receive commissions, follow up. So we started creating that ecosystem, and that's where the social token, the royalty token, lives. Collaborating, getting both artists, visual artists, to match with music artists to make new record labels,
Yeah.
and now starting to get all these creatives together using the social token. We we've gotten nothing but positive reception. Everyone's excited. They're looking forward to our exchange. Our exchange will be up in the next 2 weeks. We've got people who are in the music industry who can't wait to get on ramped to be able to make their NFTs and find a place that's just for them. You have great exchanges out there, OpenSea, billions of dollars a day. You've got Rarible. And so the question we always get is, why another NFT exchange?
Yeah.
But what the need is in the music industry is for someone to understand the needs of the songwriters, someone who understands the needs of the producers, someone who understands the needs of the performers to find the producers and the songs.
Yeah.
And so if you're a songwriter and you put up your song as an NFT on our platform, you basically can sell that song, and you can have multiple people do covers and get percentages in perpetuity every time that song's sold, because NFTs allow that to happen. So we're creating a music industry exchange that
Right.
is a marketplace for everyone who's a creative in the music industry to participate. That hasn't been done yet. That hasn't been done before. And that's how you make a fan artist collaborative record label, because everyone internally is sharing, swapping, trading songs, trading covers, trading music with producers, trading opportunities to do collaboratives, creating remixes with one another, all on a centralized, on basically on a decentralized exchange, out of the
Yeah.
centralized system of a record label who's controlling all these pieces, but a decentralized system that allows everyone from around the world to collaborate and work together and make music. And then the NFTs are the backing of the whole system that allows people to vote and decide, do we want to put allocation towards a new album? Do we want to put this songwriter and help this songwriter go further than they need to be? And that's where the DAO part comes in, and that's where the governance tokens come in. And so we create this. We're in the midst of creating a system that I'm very excited about. We talked to musicians, we've talked to producers, and as we're starting to explain the idea of a place where you don't have A&R and you don't have execs telling you who you need to work with and who this person is because they want to make this person the $1 million platinum seller. When you start getting artists in a format where they can work together and they feel comfortable
Yeah.
that their creative works can't be stolen. You see,
Right.
blockchain proves that you are the writer of the song.
Yeah.
Blockchain proves that you're the producer of the track.
Absolutely.
Blockchain proves that this was the album that you created, because it's
Yeah.
all on ledger. So when you can have a space that allows for both cooperation and no one being worried that someone's stealing their creativity,
Yeah.
it becomes a flourishing environment. And that's all we want to do at Band Royalties, and create a flourishing environment for all the music industry creatives, not just the performers, but every person who's a part of that ecosystem that makes it work.
Absolutely. You're doing great for the music industry. So coming to the fans, if I'm a fan and I like, by the way, which musicians, which singers are you in your pool, in your system, in the ecosystem?
Yeah, so when we started this project, we made a big investment. We made about a $200,000 investment to acquire a performance royalty catalog. And the performance royalty catalog was a percentage of a writer's share of what he earned after every time the songs were played. And the reason why we did that was to show regular people that the music and these music rights are sold like baseball cards. They're behind the scenes, always being sold and traded. The income stream is like any other financial product, whether it's a CD or a bond. And so these things are anticipated. Advances are given in the industry, and so there's opportunities for us to give advances, but we want to really show people that you can be a part of the music industry and it doesn't require a lot. So the performance catalog that we bought has performers on it such as Justin Timberlake and Jay-Z and Beyonce and Rihanna, but those are the performers. Behind the scenes are all the writers who were on these songs, and by us buying into the performance catalog, we actually supported the writer. We put money in his pocket so that he could continue to take care of his family. And these were just the people who ended up being performers on the songs that him and his team produced or engineered or wrote. And that's what makes this industry so unique. Up until now, as a fan, we only look at the performer. We only know the performer. And psychologically, we don't ever think about all the work that goes into producing that song. And yeah, and so when we start teaching people that these are performance royalties, these are the writer's share of the rights, these are the publisher's share of the rights, these are a producer's shares of the rights that we're generating income, and we can go out and buy these things. We are helping the industry professionals because they don't have to wait for years and years to get money in their pocket now to take care of their day-to-day bills, and we're showing the fans that you can participate in the music industry and it doesn't have to be mysterious. It isn't just the big companies such as Sony or Warner Brothers or Universal that can be in the music industry, but us as fans, we can share in the royalties. We can buy into the royalties of different people and support the fans that we like, or support the artists we like by supporting their writers, supporting their producers, supporting their engineers. And so we as fans, we can become that side of the business that doesn't always have to be so locked in with the majors. And the idea is not to replace the majors. And I think I want to make this very clear. there is a need for the Sonys. They put up $2 million, $5 million to build some of these people's careers because they really believe in those people. This is a way to help the 85% or 90% of the artists that either A, no longer want to be in the industry system, or are taking a long time to get into the industry system. And so by creating this whole entire ecosystem, we're exposing people to music that they may not want to hear in top 40. We know that because music is super popular in different countries in a certain way,
Yeah.
all of a sudden all the music starts sounding like that. But there's other music that we want to listen to. There's other performers and other voices.
Yeah.
And this is what the band royalty ecosystem is designed to do, is expose us to all these voices and all these sounds. And, it doesn't have to be top 40. It could be anything. And we can find new artists and new people that we really like. I mean, I'll give you an example. There's some really avant-garde, really awesome artists on YouTube who literally have built their careers through YouTube. So, Toby and Negwe out of Texas. His parents are Nigerian. His music is great. He's not on top 40, but the moment I heard his music on YouTube and I just discovered him by accident, I've been a big fan of his. Kane Brown was originally on, I think a couple of America's Got Talent or something like that, and they want to put him in a boy band. And because he's mixed race, they tried to pigeonhole him in this, this category. But he had a great song. I discovered him through a song called Heaven. And Heaven's an awesome song, but he's this kid who grew up in the South who's got a country Western sound, and people are loving him. He did a collaboration with HER, and they're on his YouTube page. But there's more Kane Browns, Toby Negways, more artists out there that need a voice, and we believe that band royalty can give not only them but also their group of writers and producers an extra space to introduce themselves.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. So basically, it's not only the singers, the performers who are on stage, on screen, but also the production team. What about the fans? If I like, I get asked this question quite often. So if I buy NFT, what are the different revenue streams for me? Can I stake the NFT? How do I own out of the governance tokens? What's the payment token, the royalty token? I mean, which is going to be traded, or the IO is obviously, sorry, I forgot to say the IO.
No, don't be sorry. This is the AMA. We got a finally chance to do an AMA on the project. IEO is today on the token. Yes.
IEO goes live. Absolutely. Thank you, Noble. So that's the link. Scrolling down. So that's the IO. IO already all live on La Token platform. Those who really want to be a part of the ecosystem, go and participate in the IO.
Yeah, participate in the IEO. So I'll give you a couple of things. A lot of times people do these projects with anticipation of what's going to happen next, right? They get involved and then they're waiting for the creators or the developers to bring stuff to market. We were already doing okay in crypto, that we bought the music, the performance royalties. We did a private sale of our NFTs. We brought in almost $700,000. We've created smart contracts. We've already built the exchange. So when people are looking to participate in our IEO, they're stepping into an ecosystem that's already started. This is not, things are going to happen. We've already created and developed our next series of NFTs that are coming out, and you guys are going to love it. But the only way to get our next series of NFTs is if you bought, or at least to get first dibs on our next series of NFTs, is if you bought one of the first NFTs that we put out. So I tell people, you guys got to get our current royalty NFTs. So there's a lot of stuff to unpack. When we created this project, it was a staking project. It was a hybrid model of a DeFi meets real world project, in which we would go out and acquire music royalties, and then people would receive governance tokens by staking it in one of three pools. That hasn't changed, but it's actually made the system more robust, because that's those people who buy our NFTs and stake them also are going to have an opportunity to stake them in a new pool, and that pool is going to be the exchange pool. So
Right.
if you want to stake and participate in our income and what the exchange does, you'll also be able to do that as well. And you'll be able to earn governance tokens and get a reflection of whatever the income stream is coming from the exchange and how that's developing. So we have real world income coming in from the royalties we're acquiring, because we have more royalties on the horizon that we're going to acquire. We have income coming in from the exchange, and all of that
Right.
makes our governance tokens super valuable. We're going to also have an opportunity for people to pair and be a part of our liquidity pools. And once you have your LP tokens, you'll be able to stake those and earn governance tokens. But hopefully you're seeing a theme. The governance tokens, you'll never be able to really buy in the open market unless someone sells. The only way to get access to the governance tokens is through our NFTs and staking them, or getting part of the LP, being part of one of our liquidity pools and staking that, and then receiving governance tokens. So the governance tokens are going to be very valuable to the ecosystem. And so how this is broken down is we issued our first 3,000 NFTs. There's still some left. I think there's 1,800 of those left after our pre-sales. So we haven't even really launched it. This, as the IEO is going out now, this is also the announcement for people to pick up those NFTs. The NFTs are super valuable because they're the way that you can participate as a voter and staking and all that great stuff. But there's only 3,000 of them initially, and there's only ever going to be a total of 12,000 NFTs that will be capable of being staked in our ecosystem. So those 12,000 people basically are going to earn all the governance tokens that determine the direction of this this eventual DAO is going to go. So there's 12,000 NFTs total that'll decide the direction of the company. The way the backstage or the governance tokens are evolved, there's only going to be 6 million of those ever. We're going to meter those out over the next 4 years so that we can gradually progress into a DAO project. We don't want to just do a DAO immediately, because there's still things that we want to do to shepherd the project and make sure people, the artists are coming on board properly, make sure the royalties are being acquired properly, and basically getting everything set in tune so that it can become automated. So as we know, we want everything to be automated now, but unfortunately, we're not fully automated any place in crypto at all. And the next phase after that is the royalty token, or the social token that people use on the exchange. We use that potentially to buy more music. Maybe we buy more performance royalties. Maybe we use that to support and help artists become more successful if they're a brand new artist. We may even end up with an A&R section in our music industry exchange of new artists who will bid to be their album to come out through us. And so the royalty token is what smooths everything over and allows the larger picture of people to participate. But there's really only 300 million royalty tokens. And of that, we're only going to have a circulating supply of 75 million. So our ecosystem is very, very tight. There's only 3,000 NFTs now. There's only going to ever be 6 million governance tokens. There's only 75 million social tokens that'll be in circulating supply. That right there is going to keep this record label not only tight for the fans and the creatives, but it'll also make it abundantly successful, because it's not going to be a randomized thing. This is not a reflection DeFi project like Shiba Swap, which I like, and some of these other ones that are fun. This is actually one that's built as a true company, taking a real world model and then bringing it onto blockchain and creating it out. And so we wanted to make sure that all the stakeholders have an opportunity to gain and earn value. By doing it, we had to keep the tokens tight. And so it's not a lot of tokens, but it's enough to make sure that we get the artists, we help the artists develop, we help everything grow. And we've already built everything. We're literally in the betas are going to be introduced over the course of November and December, and everyone's going to be able to start posting their NFTs shortly. Literally right after the IEO is done with a token, the exchange will be up and people will be able to post their NFTs on it, and we'll have artists onboarding. We're talking to several different people. So we're really excited about that. And governance tokens, the staking will happen immediately after IEO, and those people who own NFTs will start earning governance tokens. You got to stake for a minimum of 90 days up to 5 years when all the governance tokens will be released. But
Yeah.
yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. We're really excited, and
Yeah,
there's going to be a lot
sure.
of gains on the way.
Lot of stuff, actually, a lot of stuff. So before that, before we go further, so NFTs, we have NFTs, we have the governance tokens, and then we have the social tokens or the royalty tokens, which is obviously the IEO is live on La Token. So NFTs, we have 3,000 of them, correct?
Yeah, we start off with 3,000. I think we have 1,800 left. If people go to our website, when we did it, we were just at the beginning of the NFT craze, and we did it on a bonding curve. And we made sure that the ones that are higher numbered and more valuable were more expensive than the lower ones. And a lot of people bought the 1 ETH, but they go from. So we sold our top 3 NFTs. Number 1 sold for 25 ETH, number 2 sold for, I believe, 20 ETH, and number 3 sold for 15 ETH immediately. And we've been selling the higher end ones quickly. So we had 8 tiers of staking available. Now we only have 5 left, and each one has less and less NFTs along the way. I believe we'll have a sellout before the IEO is done.
Okay, I'm just typing out the numbers as well. So the amount of governance tokens in circulation is how much? 75,000?
So the governance tokens will only have 6 million ever.
Yeah.
And those are only earned through staking. So there's been no governance tokens out whatsoever. So until the staking happens and people start staking their NFTs, the governance tokens are locked up. But they will receive them, and they're metered out as a reflection of the income of what the performance royalties, not just the performance royalties, but all the royalties due on our platform, what the income streams are happening from the exchange. And those governance tokens are basically being metered out along that pathway. So as we develop more and we make more money, more governance tokens will be issued to stakers.
Right. Fantastic. So guys, I think we
and then the 75 number was the social token. Social token, we're only ever going to have 75 million social tokens in circulation.
Yes.
Out of the 300 million.
So we have the NFT, we have the governance tokens, and the social tokens. So yeah, there are different streams of generating income for the fans and the investors.
Yes. And the artists, if the artists come in and they participate along the path, they'll generate the income too from it. It's from whomever wants to be a part of a collaborative record label that allows artists and fans to work together to support one another.
Fantastic. So we have discussed the business model. We have discussed, which is very important topic, is the different revenue streams, because I have seen a lot of people ask this question: how, if I invest in the NFT, how do I earn money, right? So so that's been answered very clear. Next thing, how did you structure this? How difficult or easy it was? So how did you build your team? Like, you have Barnaby and you yourself. How did you build your team? Like, I know you registered this company in Singapore. So how did that all happen?
So, Barnaby and I met about 3.5 years ago, almost 4 years ago, at a conference where we both were speaking in Las Vegas regarding crypto. And we hit it off. We just became friends. And, we worked on a couple of projects together, and it hit me about how important NFTs were. And Barnaby and I started talking, and we released 3 NFT projects together. I still own a gaming company, and that's really how I got into the NFT space. And so we released 3 NFT projects together, and this became a super successful NFT project for us that we said we're going to just drive this forward. Now, as you can tell, I don't know, you see a little bit of the gray going on here. I'm not a young, 20-something hip crypto founder. I'm an older hip crypto founder, and so we have I've been a advisor on multiple VC boards, and I'm an angel investor in various projects. I angel invested alongside Richard Branson in Richard Branson's family, I guess, in a recent fertility project in the UK. Recently we made an investment. Our company's made an investment in a company called Trubify, which we're looking to collaborate with. They have an app, a streaming app for artists, and we're bringing them onto blockchain, our blockchain project with us. So we've got an extensive reach, both Barnaby and myself. Barnaby's lectured at Harvard. regarding crypto. He's worked with governments and multiple people across the spectrum. I've been, like I said, I've written 7 books on investing and trading, and so it's we have an extensive network, both of us, both globally, that it wasn't really very difficult to build up both the programming team, the programmatic team. I've been dealing with developers my whole life, and in the last 5 years, we've been dealing with AR and Solidity developers and programmers, and so it was not that difficult to bring the people. What difficult part was trying to come up with a way that met regulatory approval,
Right.
in addition to being able to make it accessible for regular people and crypto people. And that's been our biggest challenge. You read our white paper, it's 63 pages, and we're still trying to pare it down. People want, like, oh, I want a 2-page white paper. And so we created a light paper. And the complexity of the system is also the saving grace of the system, because it made it both currently regulatory compliant as not being a security, and it also gave a lot of utility, and it forced us to think about the project in a way that made sure all the stakeholders, fans, artists, people who want to invest in the project, all those people were taken care of along the spectrum. And so it's so the NFT and the governance token and the royalty token, based on our attorneys in Singapore and advice we received in the US, that became the best solution. And we feel confident that it actually made a more robust system for us. And the governance token is going to be super valuable, because the only way anybody who's not a part of the ecosystem will ever get it is if one of the 12,000 NFT stakeholders resell them out on Uniswap or something. So we believe we've created a robust system that creates value along the way for the NFT holders, the governance tokens holders eventually, and the social token holders, where they'll be able to pair up their NFTs with royalty tokens and earn governance tokens faster, and all of this helping the ecosystem to get artists on ramped and not have to kind of wait 3 years to be groomed or go it on their own only on YouTube or something.
Perfect. That's so clear now. Okay, when is the big news happening? Like, when is the big launch? When are you launching your marketplace? Do you have any dates?
So that's the big news. We have the beta now, and we're testing it on the Rothstein network. So keeping my fingers crossed. The final date of the Token IEO sale is 3 weeks from now. And so the IEO is broken up into 3 parts. We're selling 20 tokens at 20 cents now, and we only have a 10% allocation at 20 cents. Then we're going to 30 cents after that. We've only got a 25% allocation of that, and then 40 cents at 65 cents. So it's going to run for 3 weeks. By the end of that 3rd week, we believe that we will have the exchange open. And so there'll be announcements along the way as we start bringing on more artists, and as we're bringing on more people to be excited about it. We're looking forward to some of these relationships we're cultivating to be of huge impact. And remind you, there's things that we're going to be doing where we're going to be bringing podcasters on, because podcasters are also audio, and we want to bring podcasters onto the exchange platform. So there's some really exciting things that are in the works behind the scenes that I hope won't give me any more gray hair, but if it does, it'll be okay. So we're just kind of just grinding through all the parts. So the big exchange announcement is coming in a few weeks, and the new NFT series. The contract has been made. We're waiting for our audit of the contract. And the new NFT series is going to blow people's minds away, we believe. And it's going to be a unique way for fans to have fun with the idea of the music industry. And it's going to be a unique way for fans to maybe live out their own personal fantasies about having their own music dreams. I still sing in the shower. I don't know about you, Sunny. So the reality is there's some really fun NFTs coming down the pipeline that are going to build up the ecosystem, and we're pretty excited about it. And so all I could say is there's a bunch of new announcements coming out over the next several weeks. But the biggest announcement is that I really want people to comprehend
Yeah.
The governance token. Once you get the royalty token, it's going to be your access to gaining the governance token. Once you get the NFTs, it'll be your access to gaining the governance token. There's no other way to get the governance token, and I can't emphasize it enough that the power to be able to vote on your own record label using the governance token, that is going to be a coveted opportunity, and there's only 12,000 people who will ever be able to do that as an NFT holder. And the tokens, the governance tokens themselves, are going to be the driving force to create added value for the whole ecosystem. And if you don't have an NFT, if you're not buying the royalty token, I don't know any other way that you could actually be a true stakeholder determining the fate of the music industry.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing all those details. So, guys, the only way to be a shareholder of this fantastic music-based blockchain journey for both Noble and Barnaby is to buy the NFT and the royalty tokens. Correct?
Correct. Yes. That's it. That is really the only way, because this industry is it is a very, very profitable industry, but the profits have been concentrated in the hands of very few for a very long time. And if we are in a world that all of a sudden has created new money, right? XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, new money out of thin air. Why do we have to still be beholden in the music industry to the same old paradigm as well? There needs to be a paradigm shift. And so why not us? Why not now?
Absolutely. Totally agree. I love the concept when I saw first your project, and I was going through a white paper. Obviously, it's quite, in the beginning, I couldn't sort of the hang of it, but eventually, yes, the more I came to know, yes, from you and Barnaby, I just was like blown away. The way you've structured it, beautifully. All right. Great. Noble, what time?
Thank you so much for having me, Sunny. I appreciate it.
No, what time? Because I remember last shows you had to wake up 4 a.m. Today is not that bad, right?
No. It's 8 a.m. But yeah, as always, as you know me, Sunny, my schedule is packed. So I actually have a 9 a.m. call I got to jump on to. And I got a 9:30 and I got a 10:30.
I won't hold you back for long. Thank you, Noble, for sharing band with us. And the IEO is live. RYLT token is live on that token platform.
Yeah.
Grab it.
Yeah, if you want to change the music industry, this is where you need to be, guys.
Absolutely. And again, happy Halloween and have a great weekend and speak soon. Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you, Sunny.
Bye.